Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It is December 1st. The holidays are upon us. Winter is coming, especially if you live in the Northern Hemisphere. I just want to thank you for joining us for another episode of the Drop In CEO Live Talk Media, sponsored by Illumination Partners, a trusted authority guiding C suite leaders through operational transformation. And so I'm grateful you've joined me today. And I also want to offer you something. You see, I bring some amazing people, and we have a great conversation that provides insights and inspiration for you. But if you have something to say or want to engage in conversation and share it with others, reach out to me. There is an application process where you and I can get on here, schedule some time, and deliver great value to the Drop In CEO community. So think about it. And as we move on, the reason why I wanted to jump on here today was some feedback I got. And oh my, you hear feedback is a gift. And I talk about feedback so often in my talking points, but now I have received feedback. And here's the issue. Still, people don't know exactly what the Drop In CEO brand is. What is Deb Coviello? What is Illumination Partners? And so I appreciate that feedback. Somebody I really respect a lot, Jeffrey Shaw, shout out for bringing that to my attention. And as much as I have been honing in what my messaging is, what the brand is, and how I can help others, and why I do the work that I do, I continue to evolve, evaluate, reflect, and pause and think about what can I do to improve being able to connect with you. So let's get into it. I want to make sure that by the time we're done today, there is no question about what I do and how I do it and why I do it. And so when we talk about feedback, and I talk about this a lot in the CEO's Compass and in some of my talking points, we need to give people a framework for actioning on feedback. And so we do it in the context of what to continue. What are you already good at? What should you start doing that if you add it to what you're already good at, it will elevate the impact of that strength? And then finally, what should you change? Because if you don't change it soon, it may detract from what you're really good at. And so here's some feedback. He said, "Oh my, Deb, the Drop In CEO brand, that's snappy, that resonates. That is a really great brand. Continue to broadcast that and share that with the world. The Drop In CEO." And I'll go more into that a little bit later about what it's not and what it is. And then he also shared with me to start sharing my thoughts every day, because as I put more thoughts out in the world, I can potentially inspire others. That certainly keeps the Drop In CEO brand, and I get to be able to share the best of what I have learned as well as others with you. So I am going to start, and have already started, doing more thoughts of the day on LinkedIn and social media. And then, oh my, what do I need to change? My messaging is still a little bit confusing. Who is Deb Coviello? What is Illumination Partners? And what is the Drop In CEO? Is it the one and the same, or what? So here I am. I'm going to clear things up. Who I do, why I am, etc. So today I'm going to give you a little bit more context. First of all, let's just start with Illumination Partners. It is my legal entity, and it is how I do business. So there is a really nice story about this. As I was leaving corporate, and I was a little lost at the time. I had spent some time shopping with the family, and we went into this home goods store, and there were beautiful, beautiful lights that were showing above. And I was just attracted to it, almost like a child, to something magical or a snow globe or something like that. And my daughter actually thinks I am a moth in a previous life, for the way I love being associated with beautiful lights. But then Illumination Partners came to me because it was about seeing the light, inspiring others to achieve their fullest potential. So Illumination Partners is my business entity, but we're going to demote that a little bit. They are sponsors of this particular program. And so who is Deb Coviello? Is it Deborah, Deborah, Deborah and Coviello, or something else? So for legal purposes, I put everything on as Deborah A. Coviello. My mother named me Deborah Ann Coviello. My husband calls me Debbie, and I often refer to myself as Deb Coviello. So you can call me Deb, Debbie, Deborah, the Drop In CEO, but ultimately I am Deb Coviello. That's who I am today. I may evolve, but Deb Coviello is the person behind the Drop In CEO brand and the creator of my business, Illumination Partners. So, where did the Drop In CEO come from? Well, that's an interesting story, but I will tell you sometimes the greatest things, the greatest inspiration just comes out of nowhere, maybe even when you have a conversation with somebody. So keep an eye out for that. But during a podcast interview with Mario Pareca, so shout out to Mario, he was the one that says, Deb, what do you do? And I said, well, when I drop into organizations, I'm like the drop in CEO. I go in and assess the landscape. I see what the opportunity or challenge is. I partner with the C suite leader and the team to solve that business issue. But the added element of the Drop In CEO brand is that I help evolve the essential skills of the leaders in the organization as part of what we do, not in addition to. So often organizations have these leadership development programs as something separate from the daily business, and it needs to be integrated for a lasting impact. And the reason why the Drop In CEO came out was because when I was about, 35, and I was in a startup optical networking company, we weren't doing very well. And then the private equity company came in and dropped in a leader. His name is Mike. And I remember him rolling up his sleeves, sitting by myself as the director of quality and the head of operations, and creating Excel spreadsheets and working with us to try to organize our business processes to enable to us to be able to move forward and grow the business. And he was an amazing coach along the way. And when he was done serving, the organization pulled him out because we had already elevated our ability to perform at a higher level. And then they brought in new leadership. And so that's what I do is the Drop In CEO. I am whoever that C-suite leader needs at that time, going whatever that transformation is. And you may ask, what is that transformation? It could be new customer requirements for which they don't have the capacity or capability to do it. It could be the acquisition of another business unit or team. It could be the downsizing of an organization where people are going to lose their jobs. Or maybe a senior leader has left the organization and they can't replace them. I can drop in and be that leader for whatever period of time and for whatever the problem is. So that's the Drop In CEO. That's where it came from. That brand stands for so much. It's solving the business issue, guiding C suite leaders through that transformation. But it is also about elevating the people capability, which brings me to the next thing people, which is at the core of the brand. I learned when I was in corporate, I was dropped into a lot of situations and I could technically solve the problems. But I later found out that my role as a leader was surround myself with really smart people and remove the barriers for them to be able to do good work, but also elevate their confidence and their ability to connect and influence and really do the work that they're supposed to do. So leadership development, personal development has come out of the Drop In CEO brand. And so you may not know it, but I have an Elevate Leadership Academy for emerging leaders that are not getting that training, that mentorship in their corporate environment. I can help with that and bring those skills that you need to elevate your impact as maybe the future C suite leader. I also offer one on one coaching, but not for everybody. So don't contact me if you want a 3, 6, or 9-month contract. I have found professionals at some point along the way, whether you are that C suite leader or maybe an emerging leader, you just get stuck. And by talking to somebody who has this ability for active listening, being able to see clarity amidst your chaos and be able to say, I think this is the problem. Do you see it this way? Or do you see your potential? This is what I see. And I'm almost like a crystal ball for that person across from me. So I find that offering that active listening, the ability to reframe and see the potential and help you get unstuck is what I do for my one on one coaching and advisory services. And oh my, with all these thoughts and things that I'm sharing with you, the book's over here. I had to write the book, The CEO's Compass, Your Guide to Get Back on Track. It is for that C-suite leader going through transformation to help with the personal development and understand who you are as a leader, why you lead, and how you can lead differently. And that's only chapter 1. I tell you to put the book down after you've read chapter 1 and think about that before going into the rest of the book, which has 7 compass points that you can pull on to get you back to true north, which is peace of mind, which I think everybody really aspires to versus just getting a result. And so the book is part of the Drop In CEO brand. So I am that compass person. You may hear me talk about the CEO's Compass and all of my times where I show up as a podcast guest. That is an offer for you as well. But finally, let's get to the podcast. This Live Talk Media and the Drop In CEO podcast is my opportunity to get inspired by the best of experts and industry leaders. But also, we get a chance to bring those insights and inspiration to you because I believe the Drop In CEO brand is really in service to elevate others. And if we can ultimately do a business transaction together, that is an outcome of doing the good work we can do. And that is the Drop In CEO brand. And so you can find all of these at the dropinceo.com website, dropinceo.com. There you can find my podcast, my blog, more about my services, as well as the podcast and the book, The CEO's Compass. This wasn't meant to be an infomercial. This is really about trying to connect with you and really get clear on the Drop In CEO brand and what that represents, how I serve and help leaders that are going through some kind of transformation to ultimately get peace of mind. But the work, the insights, and the leaders that I bring to this podcast, etc., are here to help you be able to help you reach your fullest potential, and you may be the C-suite leader of tomorrow. And so if you want to be on Live Talk Media, I'd love to talk with you. I don't want to always be doing this alone. Message me. I do have an application. You can also get on Drop In CEO Live Talk Media, have a piece of content, and share both of our insights with everybody. And I do just want to thank our sponsor, Illumination Partners, for making this possible. Without Illumination Partners, we wouldn't be able to bring you the Drop In CEO brand. So, Deb Coviello, I wish you a good rest of your day, rest of your week. If you want to connect, I love connecting with people. Connect with me on my website or on LinkedIn, and let's just start a conversation. And I wish you a good rest of your day. Be well.